So recently, X rolled out a new feature that revealed the geographic location of account operators, and what people saw absolutely shocked them.
Yes.
Many of the loudest political accounts, the most aggressive partisan profiles, and even pages shaping hip-hop conversations were not based in the United States at all.
Yes.
If we remember, we were having conversations about World Star.
Yes.
All these other different profiles, or a lot of them are located out of the Midwest, Mideast, and in East Asia and other foreign countries. Dude.
So this is what I was talking about before. So a couple episodes ago, I had this conversation about World Star posted this clip of a woman sending back $2,000 she got as a birthday present to a black man from a black woman that says, $2,000 is not enough. There's more men out here willing to spend the bag on me. And it was on World Star. And I was like, first of all, the name was like Cavante. Oh. It was the name was Cavante, and it was like, there are more N-words that are willing to spend the bag. And I was like, you can even tell who sent the message. But my point was, we don't know who that is. And World Star is owned by a white guy. He acquired in 2019. He acquired also Dat Piff, Genius, Kick, the messaging app Kick. And so I said in that we need like nutrition facts for social media, because now they've gotten so large that we have no idea who's sending the message, that people could actually be sending content to one another that actually pits people against one another, and we don't even know. And now this proves that point. One of the pages is called Black Barbies, right? It's dedicated towards, I guess, black women. And the account is based out of East Asia and the Pacific. And I love what Little Duval said, because it's the same thing I've been saying goes, y'all have been letting foreigners finesse y'all into being mad at your own people. That is exactly what I said. That is propaganda at its finest, right? And so it was a shock to see like what the hell is going on, but it's a huge, huge crisis for MAGA and all these other accounts.
The biggest MAGA sites I think were affected, right? There's a few of them.
Yeah, no, I was looking at some of these. There's one called Ivanka News. It's based out of Nigeria. There's one that says Red Pill Nurse. It's based in Europe, but it's an American account. American Voice, American Guy X. It's based out of India. Dear Son. It's a page dedicated. I give a dad of 5 sons. I give actionable advice to young men on how to live their full potential. And it's based out of Kenya. And so that's the thing. A Native American culture based out of Bangladesh. American Patriot based out of Nigeria. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. America First based out of Bangladesh. And this last one, if it's real, it's scary. I'm going to say it. It says that the Department of Homeland Security, their account is based in Tel Aviv, Israel. I don't know what to do with that. What you guys think about that? But that is crazy.
Say that again.
Yeah, the DHS Gov site says it's based out of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's crazy.
Do you think that Elon Musk purposely did this to raise those questions to the people?
I think it's disruptive. Of course, it's going to create conflict. I'm actually glad he did it, because it's going to spark the conversation, or it's going to spark the conversation that I've wanted to have, which is who is behind this. When you see these sites that always have these conversations about black men and black women, about like, like I feel like the whole going 50-50 thing was propaganda.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, I need a man to pay 100% of my bills. Like, wait, it's your boyfriend though. Like, he has a full-time job at Walmart, and you want him to pay all of your bills too. All of that is designed to pit us against one another. So now we need transparency and ownership of media. So I need to know I know the owner of Baller Alert. I know the owner of Spiritual Word personally. I know these people, right? We know that Angelica owns the Shade Room. I have no idea who owns World Star. I have no idea who owns the Daquan meme page, right? And those things post a lot of content that are very inflammatory towards, black people primarily.
for the people who think this is just harmless, why should a Trump supporter or fan page or any political page care about if those pages are run outside of the U.S.?
Well, that's common sense, though. I mean, because
that's the thing with common sense. It's not so common.
So media. So you've seen this. Media has changed. I'll ask you this question: How much do you think media has changed over the years from the press being the press, a trusted source of information, the dignity, the responsibility, like the Walter Cronkite of the world, to deliver that information, and now we have no idea where that stuff is coming from.
Right. Those journalists, although, the media has always fed us certain things, right? Years ago, you had real journalists who went to school for it. They did real research. Now it is everyone's a journalist.
Yeah.
Journalist. Everyone's reporting. So, yeah, no, that world, our world, that media world has just flipped upside down.
It was even at the newspaper I'm at, it was always the priority has changed, right? Before it was print, right? Website. Now it's how quickly can we get something up? It's not about who tells it best now. It's about who gets it first.
And it doesn't mean that if it's right.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't care about that.
Like, I remember a time where America, this is true. There was once upon a time in America, we frowned upon tabloid journalism that was really big in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lady Di and Wacko Jacko and Michael Jackson, all that.
Some folks were buying it, but it was almost like that was their funny paper.
Yeah, right. It was satire.
Yeah.
It is literally the entire planet now. Like, I remember, and I said, it's the first time that I ever saw an American paper disrespect Michael Jackson. That's when I knew it was over. Because they used to do it overseas in the UK all the time. Like, they used to get on Lady Di and Michael Jackson, call him Wacko Jacko. But the first time when I saw it in America, I said, oh, here it comes. And that was probably in, like, again, the late 90s, right? 97, 98. And now we're almost 18 years later, where it's like, okay, now, well, even more than that. No, we're actually 20 something years later. Like, you can't trust anything. So I think that this new world that we live in, unless we know who is saying it and it's verified, I don't believe it. I'm a skeptic out of the gate from the beginning.
Yeah, interesting things. I'll be on social and interesting things will pop up. But now, back in the day, probably a few years ago, I would see them and be like, oh, yeah, oh. Now I'm like,
I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, let me go find some other sources, blah blah blah, right? And yeah, you just don't know what to believe.
There's one piece of propaganda, pre-tabloid journalists, that I think is actually fake. I'm going to shock people because I'm a very, very scientific person. Y'all ready? Mm-hmm. We ain't go to the moon.
You're not the first person I heard say that.
Ain't no way we went to the moon.
At first, no, we didn't.
At first, here's the thing. At first, I thought we had, right? For years, I thought we went to the moon, right? Hold on. At first, I thought we went to the moon for a long time. You know what changed my mind? I Googled, has any other nation on planet Earth ever gone to the moon? And none of them did. None of them did. Not like Asia never went. Russia never went. Like, none of them ever had manned missions to the moon. We ain't go to the moon, dog. They filmed that on the soundstage somewhere. Them dudes is just jumping up and down with strings and I'm a scientific guy. We ain't go to the moon, cuz there's no way. Cause we ain't never been back. We could get back there easy now. We got you know how much more advanced technology is now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We could be going back. We could be having parties on the moon by now.
Yeah, but it's been more than 60 years.
Right. We can have a VIP section on the moon by now. We have a whole club.
For me, it was once I started to see the clips in like slow-mo and look at everything, I was like,
yeah.
Wait, that?
Yeah.
Because I just read that didn't exist until this date. But y'all had it up there already? Like, what's going on there? But no, I don't believe.
Weightlessness looks like weightlessness now looks different than them guys just bouncing like this.
Correct.
Like, weightlessness now is like when we're floating, it's all slow. These guys were just doing this. So they probably saying, they don't know what waiting as hell look like. Just had this dude just jump around and bounce around. Right. Yeah, we ain't go there. So
I want to get back to original point, though. How has this escalated the urgency for ownership?
For immensely, because again, if we are shaping our lives or forming narratives about who we are and what we believe based on the things we see, and now we don't know who those people are and who owns those platforms, it can manipulate large amounts of people. As we become more connected through social media, that means hundreds of millions of people can be affected by something fake if they don't know what it is. So the verification is going to matter. A verified news source. Like I said, even with AI and things like that, I said, like, we're not far from blue checks on phones. We're not far from you calling me and there be a blue check by, if it ain't no blue check by, I don't care if it say Ty Walker or not. If the blue check ain't by your name, it ain't
sure.
You know,
especially with
to understand where we are, like the truth, because so many people, it's so easy to lie now. It's so easy to lie with AI. It's so easy to lie. So everything is going to have to be scrutinized, or at least, I read things like you just said. I read things and I don't immediately go and jump to the comments and I'm like, I don't even know if that shit real, dog. I don't even know if that happened. Correct. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% think you're right. Even on dating apps, verification now.
Oh yeah.
But even then, have you heard
catfish, Noah? Is that what it is?
Not yet. I know a few people who have.
Been catfished?
Never been catfished.
Really?
Never. Thank the Lord.
Okay, well, what do you consider a catfish?
Well, I mean, there's the incidents of you show up to the date and the girl doesn't look like her picture did on the profile.
That's a catfish.
But my thing is, it's like the bot behind it, because people will get in situations. I had a friend who ran into the situation where he was, exchanging text messages. It got a little saucy. He sent something he shouldn't have been sending. Girl I don't even want to say it was a girl, but somebody blackmailed him to not put the picture all over the internet.
Oh man, come on, man. Y'all can't. Yeah. You can get caught out there like that, bro. Y'all wilding.
Yeah.
Reckless.
Especially to our older folks too. I keep hearing this from like some of my friends' moms and dads are getting catfished like crazy.
Oh wow.
So not only are they probably dropping some bread on a person that doesn't exist, right? But they're falling in love.
They're falling in love
with this person who can't seem to get to their state, can't seem to arrive in the city, or we're gonna meet up. I'm gonna send you a ticket, right? All these things. This is happening every city.
The Tinder swindle.
The
Tinder swindle. That guy made hella bread.
Hella bread.
Yeah, finesse scheme.
Hella bread.
That's crazy.
But I want to ask a question. What do you think the likelihood of other platforms like Facebook, Instagram also revealing locations of accounts? What's the likelihood?
No, they're not gonna do that. Matter of fact, I have a suspicion that a good portion of users on a platform like Instagram are bots.
I agree.
Because remember the what was it called? It was like the Instagram rapture. Remember, like it had to be like maybe 10 years ago. Remember, said Instagram's going to delete all the bot accounts. Everybody lost like 30% of their following. Like it revealed, like I think shout out to my guy Mace, but like Mace had like 4 million followers and it went down to like 250,000 because everybody bought all their followers.
They still do it.
My point is, it was such a bad blowback from that, and that's been over a decade. And I know that, there are a lot of bot accounts on there that are infested. So you don't want to say, oh, imagine if Instagram said 20% of our entire platform is fake and you had to remove those users. So imagine people's accounts dropping by tens of millions of followers. That affects the ability to charge for advertising. That affects the ability for influencers to charge, for how much they charge. So you're talking about messing up the money. They can't say, oh yeah, we've been charging you based on these amount of users and now we only have like 20% less. That's a huge cut in revenue. So they're not going to do that. Of course they wouldn't do that shit. Ain't no way they're doing it.
So let me ask then, why do you think Twitter X prioritized doing it?
I don't know. I mean, Elon might just be like, yeah, I don't want to shake things up. I mean, it's a good, but here's what happened though. They also reversed that decision and then scrubbed a lot of really main accounts, and they don't let you know where they're from now. So you can look on my page and see that I'm in the United States of America, but you can't go back to Homeland Security's page now and see. Like they already switched it up.
Somebody gave him an angry call.
Yeah, like, hey man, you about to mess up the whole shit. Yeah, because I mean, it's a propaganda machine. People really get on. You know, what's so funny. We're naive people.
Yeah,
we're too naive. You don't know why? We're too naive because we really get on the internet and argue with people, and we don't even know who the hell they are. Like, I have done that myself. We are far too trusting to invest energy into things that we may not even know is real.
I've been that person.
Right.
I'm not anymore, but I've been that person.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
I
have never met this person in my life. Why am I arguing?
Why am I arguing with a cat emoji? You know what I'm saying? Why am I arguing with a blank gray human silhouette outline and go and cuss it?
Correct.
I'll find you.
Like angry.
I'll whoop your ass. It's like, we're far too, like, we're too triggered and too easily duped into, but that's what propaganda is supposed to do. Like, that's what it's supposed to be like. Now you guys are fighting with each other and now working together. That's why I say, like, you know, I really want to build community. We don't always have to agree, but I still want to be able to build a community where people can agree to disagree and solve their differences. But this whole war, these gender wars, these race wars that we're having online, they're designed to divide us. And I don't want any part of that. Racism is real. Let's have the conversation. But let's not make up shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the part for me. That's
a lot. And it's funny because a lot of things that are made up in our community just continue to go. Right.
Yes.
I was talking to a young lady and she told me, she was like, yeah, Ty, like whenever you guys become successful, then you're no longer interested in Black women. And I was like, I've heard this same statement for years.
Yeah.
But is that true?
No.
And if you look into the statistics, not even work close.
The percentage of black men that make over a certain amount of money that are married to Black women is high.
It's high.
It's like in the
crazy high.
Like 90%. Right.
I think it was like 94%.
Yeah. Like, yo, so that narrative that Black men get rich and leave your ass for a white girl, like Kanye West said, is false. He might have did that shit. We don't do that. I've never been with a white woman, so I have no idea.
So, you know, what I'm thinking about all the propaganda machine this creates, I go back to 2016 election, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, and particularly on Facebook, the propaganda against Hillary. And I think it was at the time, you remember what I'm talking about, when they were speaking about all this horrible things she did while she was in the Obama administration, right? And then later it revealed that it was Russian bots and propaganda, right? How do you think that this new feature on X will either push or cut back on election interference? I wouldn't say it's election interference, but more so voter mindset.
Well, I mean, it can cut back, but unless the responsible thing would be for all the platforms to reveal those things, right? It would be, it should be like, okay, who owns World Star Hip Hop? Like this, like it should say this page is owned by Michael Hayward. I can't remember what his name is. In what's the name of the Media Lab AI? Like World Star Hip Hop. It's just this page is owned by Media Lab AI. That would do wonders, right? For what people, because it would allow the people that are truly out there in this space that are journalists that are telling the stories to have an opportunity to say, okay, I can trust you. That's why I like Roland. That's why I turn more to people like Roland. You know what I'm saying? Like independent journalism is a lot better now because now I know Roland. Roland is the source of his information, and we can trust that source. You know, as opposed to just a brand that dishes out information to people.
I love that. My final question before we move into the next subject is, how is Fanbase going to approach identity verification differently?
Well, we faced that recently. We had a bot surge recently, and we had an influx of bots come in. We had to write some software because these bots were not normal bots. These bots were acting like people. Like we were like the team, like Andrew, like we were talking, Ramiro, we were talking. It was like, they were like, but these bots aren't acting like regular bots. They're commenting. They're responding back. They're doing things that humans would do. So the bots have gotten to another level, probably with AI, where they're using that, where they're actually acting like people. The only thing that made it really, really weird is like, okay, where are these users come from in like a short amount of time, but they don't have any profile picture, but they have a profile picture and a bio, but no content. And so we monitor that, and we've been building stuff like that. As far as accounts go, I even like what I just said, that, I like the fact that if a media site joins Fanbase, we have to list who owns that site. I like that. If there's a person, that's fine. But it's like if WorldStar comes in and says, WorldStar is owned by Media Lab AI, y'all build a page, I like that.
Absolutely.
I think that's the responsible thing to do, because information travels too fast. People can get hurt. People can say things. They can make up things. They can, information travels so fast. And if it's a lie and it winds up harming somebody or dividing people, we gotta take a stand against that.